In this video, I'm gonna show you how to install ArchLinux on your computer in just a few minutes. This is the brand new, easiest ArchLinux installation guide. We'll walk you through quickly installing and setting up your favorite desktop environment on any PC or laptop. As a demonstration, I will be installing ArchLinux on my laptop running the latest Windows 11 operating system. I have allocated a dedicated and empty drive for this purpose, where I will be installing ArchLinux in a moment. This setup will result in a dual boot configuration with both operating systems running from separate drives. However, if you prefer to install ArchLinux alongside Windows 11 on the same drive, I have included a link to the video in the description section. Simply follow the link and check it out. Now, with that being said, it's time to get started with the ArchLinux installation process. First, head over to the ArchLinux website and download the ISO image from the closest mirror to your location. Then download Rufus to burn the ISO to the USB drive. You can also use Balena Etcher or Ventoy drive. Now make sure that you have an 8 gigs or higher USB drive and connect it to your computer. For the sake of this video, I will be using Rufus to burn the ArchLinux ISO. Once the flashing process is complete, restart your PC or laptop. Whilst rebooting, you need to enter into BIOS settings. Use the keyboard shortcut based on your motherboard. Now mostly, it could be F2, F9 or Escape key. In my case, my computer boots into the startup menu and I press F10 to access the BIOS setup. In the UEFI BIOS, enable USB boot and change the boot order by setting the USB drive as primary. Then disable the secure boot, which is very important. Once done, save the changes. Your system will now boot into ArchLinux live session from the USB drive. If it fails to boot, you can use the boot menu to load Arch install media. You will see the CLI environment. Go ahead and type this command to increase the size of the font. The first thing is to check for a stable internet connection. If your computer is connected to the internet via Ethernet, you can use the ping command and check the connection. If your computer has built-in Wi-Fi support, you can use IWCTL to connect to the internet. Simply type IWCTL in the console to enter the IWD shell mode. Then type device list to see a list of network interfaces. Look for WLAN 0 and then type device WLAN 0 show to see more information about the WLAN 0 interface. Next, run this command station WLAN 0 get-networks to see a list of Wi-Fi networks. Then type station WLAN 0 connect and enter the name of your Wi-Fi network. Then press the return key and enter the Wi-Fi password. After entering the password, wait for 5 seconds and press the enter key to connect to the internet. You may not see any output, but if the connection was successful, you can simply exit the IWD mode. And that's it, you have successfully connected to the internet. Now run the ping command and make sure you are receiving the packet. You can interrupt the ping by pressing Ctrl+C. Now type this command to synchronize the system packages and upgrade them to the latest version. It's time to format the drive and prepare it for the ArchLinux installation. Type lsblk to see a list of all connected drives to the computer. In my case, dev.sda is the drive where I want to install ArchLinux. You can also use fdisk-l command to see more information about the drives. It's important to be careful and make sure that you are formatting the correct drive. Once you have confirmed the correct drive, run the command gdisk/dev.sda to launch the gdisk. Now replace SDA with the appropriate one. In the gdisk tool, press X to enter the expert mode, and then press Z to erase the drive. Now follow the prompts to complete the drive erasing process. Now at this point, the drive dev.sda should be brand new and free of any partitions. Then type this command, which contains the public keys used to verify the authenticity and integrity of ArchLinux packages, ensuring they come from trusted sources. Now type this command to set up the Arch install script. Now launch the Arch installer script by typing arch install in the console. Now use the arrow keys to navigate through the options. Set the system language by selecting your option. I'm going to leave the first three options at default values. Next, select the disk configuration, choose partitionizing, and use the best effort default partition layout. Then select the drive where you want to install ArchLinux. In my case, it's dev.sda. Select the drive by pressing either the spacebar or the tab key. You will see an asterisk between the square brackets to indicate that the drive has been selected. Now choose the btrfs file system and use compression. Then select back to return to the main menu. Next, select the bootloader. You have the option to use either the systemd or the GRUB bootloader. I'm going to choose GRUB. Then I will leave the swap values set to true and leave the hostname as ArchLinux. After that, set the root password to assign a password for the root user. Then create a new user and add it to the sudoers list for elevated privileges. It's time to install the desktop environment. Select the profile type and choose desktop. The Arch install script offers a plethora of options to choose from, but for this demonstration, I will opt for the Plasma desktop environment. Next, select the graphic drivers that you want to install. If you have AMD GPU, choose AMD. If you have an Intel GPU, choose Intel. If you have a dedicated NVIDIA graphics card, choose the proprietary or Navu driver accordingly. Then select the audio option and choose the audio server. For best results on most computers, it's recommended to use Pipewire. If you wish, you can also install additional kernels, but for now, I will stick with the default or the latest available kernel. Now, under the additional packages, you can specify a list of packages to be installed separated by spaces. After that, select the network configuration and choose to use the network manager. And lastly, select your time zone to set the correct time on your system. Now go ahead and check all the options to ensure you haven't left anything blank. Now once you have confirmed all the options, select the install option and wait for a few minutes for ArchLinux to be fully installed on your system. And that's it. Within a few simple steps, you have successfully installed ArchLinux using the Arch install script. The prompt to perform the post-installation steps will appear once the installation has been completed. Select Yes to enter the chroot environment and start customizing the Arch installation. It's time to install the useful tools such as Firefox, LibreOffice, BPyTop, and much more. Once you have finished installing the required packages or GUI applications, exit the chroot environment and type shutdown your computer. Then remove the bootable USB and turn on the computer to boot into ArchLinux. In case it doesn't boot, you can select the drive from the UEFI boot menu. The first thing to do after installing ArchLinux is to fix the Discover App Backend. To do so, open console and type this command to install Flatpak and use it as a backend for discovery. And lastly, this step is optional to add the Windows boot entry to the GRUB boot menu. Open console and type this command to install OS Prober. Then edit the GRUB configuration file with this command. Change the default GRUB timeout limit to 20 seconds. Then scroll to the bottom and uncomment this line. Then save the changes by pressing Ctrl+O and exit with Ctrl+X. Now run the command to update GRUB. You should see it found the Windows Boot Manager. Then reboot your computer. Now you can use the GRUB menu to boot into Arch and Windows 11. And that's it. This is how you can quickly and easily install ArchLinux in just 5 minutes using the Arch install script. Let me know what do you think about it in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching. This has been KSK Royal. I will see you in the next one.